What's up, everybody? It's your favorite controversial MP's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Masterpiece Ironhide. We're going to start with vehicle. Brilliant red finish on there. Typical Masterpiece, like up to standard 100%. The yellow paint to the orange looks good as well. Starts to look a little crazy in there. I'm not sure if that was avoidable or not. I'm not sure if you can see in there because of the line work of the engineering. But yeah, pretty spectacular paint job on this unit. Translucent blue windows, and then it's got the crazy face there. Not my cup of tea. You know, I don't like translucent windows. They're not for me. But for what they are, they look fine. Silver finish up there. So he has the sled. The sled comes with houses a slew of accessories, which is pretty cool. This top bit here can hold this gun. And this gun, I'll tell you, that gun, this gun doesn't quite fit right in there or in the sled, but it will go. This has the chrome finish and then the gray handle, and it plugs into the top of the sled. And then this is just has the silver finish, and these two go on the sides. It has the jetpack pieces. We'll talk about that later on. It has this thing here. We'll talk about that later on. And these two and all this stuff we'll kind of get to later on. But has this bit of business here. It articulates at a hinge here and a hinge here. And then it swivels at the base on that little peg. It'll work itself out. But for the sake of displaying it, it would be fine. And then it has these hands and stuff, but we're going to get to most of that later. No finish on the red here, which is a bit of a bummer because it definitely stands out in contrast to that red in hand, I can assure you. He comes with an alternate face, face, and he comes with this bit of business, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But yeah, rolls like a champ. We'll compare him with Tiger Tracks. So that's good enough, I think. And of course, fits in the trailer just fine. All in all, pretty good. Plastic tires. Pretty clean underneath. Also, these guns can store underneath. Let me see if I can't remember how to do it. Alright, there it is. So, they can store underneath like this. It's this piece that latches on to there, and you just kind of gotta, it's all with tension, which is fine. The chrome on the bumper and stuff looks good. The tampered Autobot looks good. I got paint chips all over that gray on both sides there, so that's a bit of a bummer. That's going to be in robot mode too, so that's unfortunate. The tail lights and stuff look good. And for headlights, they used a chrome. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. However, that means that this whole piece is chrome, and this is paint over top of the chrome, and therefore it's chipping, which is a bummer. So lift the back piece up, lift the side panels up as well. Then fold from the bottom these pieces out and around to the top. Alright, so the whole point of this next section is to get the chest to encompass the shoulders, to keep the shoulders in place. So fold this here. This forms the back, this forms the top of the chest, and then you can double hinge this piece out here. Then you fold up the shoulders. You want to bring this down and encapsulate the shoulders. Now, when I've done this before, it makes the face pop off. I love it. So, face is reapplied, and I think you can bring these bits here, and they just latch on to the shoulders, holding it in place. Double hinge these tires in, get them out like that, and then you should be able to wrap them around and plug them back in. So same on the other side. This one is too tight. There we go. Back around. Then you can fold this piece out and around, and that covers that up. And then this panel comes down and covers that up. So once again on the other side, this piece comes around, covers that up, this piece comes down, covers that up. Split the feet, pull them down, spin them around, turn the feet, and that's his legs. Now let's get these hip skirts. Untab them here, slide them out. Untab, slide them out. Then you can rotate the whole kind of pelvis piece. You can rotate this up, bring these in, and they reattach there. Same on the other side. And that's done. For the chest, untab it here. Bring this whole piece up. When you do that, you can have the clearance to get this piece out here. Bring this whole piece out and then tab it back into the top of the chest. Now for the arms, this is the tab here as an FYI that all your accessories go into. Open this up here, and then this rocks down. It doesn't go as far as you can tell by the sculpt, it doesn't go as far as what feels natural, but it's fine. And then flip out this hand here, and then wrap this back around, and this back around, and then you have your arm. So the same on the other side. Open that up, flip the hand around, bring this down, flip this up, flip this around, and there you have Masterpiece Ironhide. Head. It's on a ball joint. It's on a ball joint, and my face wants to always pop off. I don't care for that. And then the blue eyes are painted very well, and it has the red finish throughout, which is really, really nice. Really, really nice. The top part up here is okay. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna continue on. So ratchets, weird, non-clicky ratchets on this joint, going front and back, out to the side feels good. It almost feels like bicep swivel, super tight, has the squeaks. And elbow getting you 90 degrees. The elbow is really smart. It looks good, like it looks like seamless, and it works like a champ. You wouldn't think it necessarily would. A bit open there on the back, but it's not a huge deal. We got these forearms that don't look quite right, but once again, not a huge deal. In person, these don't bother me at all. In pictures, they did bother me. Wrist swivel. Fingers articulate on a base knuckle pin, single hinge, which I think is fine. My chrome is also severely scratched all along there, which I didn't notice before. But it is. Waist swivel to there and there, so a bit limited, but I think it's more than enough to get you what you want out of a pose, so that's fine. Articulation is the same on the other side. Yeah. Alright, hips, you get out to here on friction universals, which are not the best friction universals I've ever felt, but they're not the worst. And then you get, let's see here, these articulate up so that you can get them straight out, which is fine. Knees on great ratchets, that feels good. Thigh swivel. Feet, you got a ankle tilt and rocker, so no problems there. The back is fine. Not the best, but I think it's fine. This tire butt thing doesn't bother me. These hip skirts, it's funny, the hip skirts never really bothered me in person, but in hand they are bothering me. Look at you.
I just look like a froggy.
You look like a frog.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
What is that shit for?
It's Ironhide, what it's supposed to be. So yeah, and I can tell you this, all this stuff, this shape, this general shape, it bothers me in person more than it has ever bothered me in pictures. It doesn't feel right. Just aesthetically, it doesn't feel right. My face keeps popping off. All right, let's go through his accessories. So the gun, these tabs go in this back slot, so to speak. There. He holds those just fine, and then he has this bit of business here, which can tab in to that. He has all of these like hand accessory things, which if you open this up and twist his hand back, you can plug in, you know, that thing or this hand or this hand, if you want, and that works fine. He has his backpack here, his jetpack rather, that plugs into the back here, and then you can get the boosters popping out there. So yeah, I mean, all the accessories work really well, and they're quite clever choices for accessories. He can hold this gun as well, the more toy gun. And that one, does that go into the back slot too? Yeah. And holds that just fine. So all the accessories work really well. They're really smart. They're really well thought out. I almost forgot, you can untab this and then put this down in there and have like the little, actually I think it probably goes the other way. Yeah. Have the little monster coming through. Smart idea. Totally with it. Once again, accessories are on this guy are top shelf. The face, it won't be too hard to change out the face because mine is constantly coming off. Woo. So yeah, that works fine as well. Size comparison wise, there he is with Prime, Maketoys Grapple, and an MP car. Hopefully that gives you an idea. And there he is next to the eye gear one. Obviously, an improvement overall. Final thoughts. There's a couple, like I think that the ratchet choices in the shoulders are a mistake. I also think that when you play, whoa, good grief, sorry about that. I also think that there's issues with the shoulders. Like a lot of times when I was messing with them or posing them, they would come untabbed here. Not the biggest deal in the world, and it just takes a second to tab it back in. But I did find it to be irritating, and I also think that it's that ratchet there that just feels like Fisher Pricey to me. Yeah. Outside of that, my only real issues. Obviously, I know there's a G1 toy mode. I'm not your guy for that. I have nothing good to say about it, so it's cool that they included it, but I'm not the guy that you want to talk about that. Let's talk about this. My problem here is aesthetics. It's visual design choices. For instance, the legs, they nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. The arms, I'm okay with. They didn't nail it like they nailed the legs because of this chunk here, but I'm okay with it. I can easily look past that. The head sculpt, initially, I didn't care for it. In hand, I think it's fine. Looks Ironhide to me. I think the mohawk is a little intense, but it looks good enough. There's also an additional neck hinge there. You can get a downward pose. It destroys the sculpt, but it's there. Also, this is a QC issue here that this piece is constantly falling out on mine. But my biggest issue with this guy is, let's clean him up. Let's take this side. This is fine. Is just the design. It's this. It's this right here. It's that hourglass shape to his chest. I think that the way that this looks, it looks like Ironhide has a belly. And I noticed that the first time I saw him in pictures, and it stays true for me to this day. It looks weird in this area to me. The waist flaps is funny in pictures, didn't bother me. In hand bothers me a ton. I know there's these mods that you can do where you take it off and then you shave a piece of wheel and then you unpin this and you tab it back together, and fine. That's all fine. I agree. I think it looks better, but I'm not judging this toy on that because it's not my job to make sure that this thing looks good. It's their job, and that's my biggest beef with it. Now, the materials and all that stuff are fine, and this is what I'm talking about. So somebody commented on my reflector video, and shout out to that guy. It was very cool and a very good conversation, but he said that I was a little lenient on the Fanstoys reflector, and that's fine. But here's my issue. Everything about this is the opposite of this, and I'm going to tell you what I mean. The materials feel better. The paint finishes feel better. The transformation much smoother, much more intuitive, much more natural, much more enjoyable. This total opposite. Accessories here, all inclusive. Add and you can subtract and add in every mode, and there's a place for everything to go. And what is it? What's the expression? A place for everything, and everything is in its place. Do you know what I mean? I love that. But in robot mode, I don't like the way he looks, and in robot mode, I like the way he looks. And for my collective purposes, that's what's most important. That I like the way it looks on the shelf, because I don't have the opportunity to manipulate these things as much as I would like to mess with them as much as I would like to. Most of the time, the only time that I get to enjoy my collection is when I get to walk past them, look at the shelf, and take it in, and look at the accomplishment of a collector trying to build his proper shelves, right? And I'm not going to get that enjoyment out of him. And it's purely design choices in terms of aesthetics. I think that he looks like he has a belly more so than he looks like he has a chest. And I don't see the character that way. And that's what I don't like about him. That is my biggest complaint. So I don't like the way this thing looks, right? But I do want to show something positive about it. So that's my big complaint, and I'm going to say it over and over again. I don't think it looks right. But I just want to show that this is like my standing height position. Like you can see a little bit of him back there. That doesn't bother me. You know, like on the shelf, hidden behind some figures. I think that's fine. What do you think of this new drawing?
I'd like it better if you covered up about 45% of it.
Touché. Now, you know, usually in the positives, I get in tight on the chest and head, like a bust type photo. But what I want you to see here is I just want you to see all this while I continue to talk, so you can continue to see with the issue I have with it. The positives are the accessories are fantastic, the materials are good, with the exception of those shoulder ratchets, which do feel a little weird. The paint is breathtakingly good. All the choices, the choices in paint and color and all that stuff, like where the yellow changes tone. I love all that stuff. Once again, the accessories, just their interchangeability between robot mode and van mode and the sled and all that. Like, I think that stuff is really good. The transformation, usually for me at least anyway, Ironhide, his transformation is always a pain in the balls. This one's not. This one's fun. It's enjoyable. It is the most enjoyable Ironhide transformation I have ever taken part in, hands down. No doubt about it. It's a good time. The only problem is, really, with this guy, is this design choice here. I feel like if you could take this piece off, and if this came out further, that should be the general shape of him. Do you know what I mean? That should be the shape of his torso. But it's almost like it's upside down here. So aesthetically, I don't care for him. But that's it. Otherwise, I mean, he's a well-made toy. So if you like the aesthetics, by all means, jump in, because the figure is well made. There's no doubt about it. But if you don't like the aesthetics, in my personal opinion, you know, people always say like, it looks it looks bad in pictures, and then you get it in hand, it looks fine. That's not my opinion with what's going on here. For me, it bothers me more in person than it did in pictures, and it bothered me a fair bit in pictures. And the only reason why is because there's extra things that didn't bother me in pictures that now bother me in person. I guess I'm going to have to do one of these mods just because I want my Ironhide to look right. And I think those mods get it closer. I still think it looks like he has a belly instead of a chest, but I think it's a lot closer. And it's a shame because there's an awful lot of good here. So, do I recommend him? If you like the way he looks, definitely. If you don't, ain't nothing changing that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.